Good day, everyone. This is our topic number 8, the last topic for this course subject entitled Welfare and Equilibrium. These are the expected learning objectives. First, contrast between concepts of welfare and equilibrium. Second, differentiate partial equilibrium and general equilibrium and how one leads to the other. And third, state the Walrasian theory of general equilibrium and enumerate its uses and limitations. Under of this topic, let us understand first the definition of welfare and equilibrium. So these two terms are fundamental concepts that help us to analyze and understand the allocation of resources in an economy. And being aware of this could help us to act as individuals or as a community. What is welfare? So, when we say welfare, it refers to the overall well-being or utility of individuals in an economy. In our previous topic, we discussed that different types of utility. Just remember that when we talk about utility, it is what individual finds satisfying or valuable. So, sabi nga, yung valuable or satisfying sa'yo, pwedeng hindi satisfying sa kanya. Baga, pinipili ng tao ang mga bagay na nagdudulot ng labis na kasiyahan at kapakinabangan sa kanila. Yung welfare kasi, it encompasses to material living standards, no, sa pagdating sa freedom, sa education, sa health, and sa happiness. So, malawak po ang welfare because it is a state of well-being. Then, we have optimum welfare. So, here, it typically refers to the state where individuals or society as a whole experience the highest possible level of well-being or satisfaction. And achieving this involves various conditions and consideration. So, kapag sinabi kasing optimum welfare, napaka-raming kinoconsider nito. Yung social aspect mo, yung social being mo, no, socio-economic, political, and so on and so forth. Then, meron tayong tinatawag na welfare analysis that aims to determine whether one of the economic situations or government policies or regulations that may lead to improvements or reduction in over welfare. For example, if in assessing changes that happen to policies or market condition like sa consumer surplus, no, sa producer surplus, and so on, that could impact doon sa overall welfare ng consumer at ng mga producer. At para na rin sa mga policymaker that knowing it could help them para mas maging maayos yung mga desisyon at mga gagawin nila in their policies na i-impose nila sa society. Kanina, binigyan pansin natin kung ano yung welfare. Now, let's have the equilibrium. So, here in our slide, when we say equilibrium, it is a state of rest, a position from which there is either no incentive or no opportunity to move. I know, familiar na kayo sa term na ito since in our previous topic, nabigyan focus na natin kung ano ang equilibrium. That it is typically refers also known as market equilibrium, where the quantity demanded by consumers equals to the quantity supplied by producer at a particular price level. Kung inyong naaalala or naaalala nga, yung point where the supply and the demand intersect. Kaiba pa ito doon sa tinatawag nating disequilibrium, yung surplus and shortage in the market. So, here in our slide, we have partial and general equilibrium that help us in understanding how markets function and how changes in one part of the economy affect other parts. So, unahin na natin dito yung partial equilibrium. So, in partial equilibrium, it focuses on the equilibrium condition of individual markets, such as the demand and supply curve shift while holding all other factors constant o yung tinatawag nating ceteris paribus. So, it assumes that changes in one market do not affect other markets. Ibig sabihin, we only examine the price and the quantity of a single good or service in isolation. So without considering the broader economic context, no, dun lang tayo nakapokus. For example, is about the rice here in the Philippines, assuming that there's an increase doon sa presyo ng bigas due to weather, sakto dahil tag-init ngayon or El Nino. In partial equilibrium, economists would focus solely on how the change in weather affect the equilibrium price and the quantity of rice. So they would consider factors such as consumers' demand for rice, changes in production costs, and the elasticity of supply and demand for that product, yung rice. Hindi bibigyan focus how this change in rice market affect other markets. Such halimbawa yung mga substitute products. Hindi na po yung titingnan sa partial equilibrium. In general equilibrium naman, it examine yung simultaneous interaction of all markets in an economy. It consider how changes in one market impact other market. It is more, comprehensive yung pag-unawa natin dito, how markets are interrelated to each other. For example, economists would not only examine the effect on the rice market, but also considering how this change affects related markets. For instance, yung pagtaas ng presyo ng bigas o ng rice might lead consumer to substitute other products that cause changes of demand of that given product. Basta tatandaan, kapag partial equilibrium, it focus on individual markets in isolation. A general equilibrium naman, it takes into account the interconnectedness of all markets in the economy that provides more comprehensive understanding. Mas malawak, mas malalim. Maraming tinitingnan kapag general equilibrium. In relation to general equilibrium, we must understand the context of efficiency and Pareto optimality. So, pag sinabi nating efficiency, it is where the resources of the state are allocated in such a way that they are maximally utilized to achieve the greatest possible output or welfare. Sabi, ito yung paraan ng paggamit sa limitadong pinagkukunang yaman upang matugunan yung ating mga pangailangan at kagustuhan. So, ibig sabihin, minamaximize yung paggamit ng mga limited resources. So, paanong paraan nila ito magagamit o kumbaga, yung mga gawain nila upang ma-maximize yung paggamit ng mga limited resources. In Pareto optimality, also known as Pareto efficiency, it is a concept named after the Italian economist Wilfredo Pareto. Pag sinabi naman nating Pareto optimality, is a specific type of efficiency that refers to a state in which no individual can be made better off without making someone else worse off. So, ibig sabihin, that it is not possible to improve the welfare of one person or resources or a resource without harming the welfare of at least one another. So that is the concept of Pareto optimality. Now let's have this slide. Again, we have here the theory of general equilibrium. It is a fundamental concept in economics that deals with the interaction of supply and demand across all markets in an economy. This theory was developed by a French economist. He is Lim Valeras based on the pronunciation.com ng French and later refined by economists like Vilfredo Pareto and Kenneth Arrow. So this theory provides a framework in terms of understanding how prices and the quantities are determined in a market economy. So here are the limitations of general equilibrium na for sure ay nakita nyo kanina while we are discussing the uh, definition or what is really the general equilibrium. So first we have the complexity. So general equilibrium can be highly complex, especially when we are considering a large number of goods and markets kasi napakalawak, marami ikinukonsider pagdating po sa pag-aaral ng general equilibrium. Second, information and rationality assumptions. So it assumes that all market participants have perfect information and make rational decision. But in reality, alam naman po natin that individuals may not always make optimal choices. Marami pa ring rational, kumbaga, mag-isip ang tao at rational din yung pamumuhay ng mga individuals. Third, we have the static analysis. So, the model o yung tinatawag nating the concept itself is typically static and does not account for dynamic changes over time such as yung technological advancement, lalo na nasa 21st century tayo, changes in consumer preferences, nagbabago as years pass by also kasi iba-iba naman yung generation by generation or shift in production possibility. So, generally speaking, in microeconomics, yung mga models or even itong model na pinag-uusapan natin, general equilibrium, are said to be essential tools for analyzing economic behavior and making predictions. It's essential, however, there are said limitations, especially when applying it in the real-world situation. Kumbaga, itong mga model na ito ay nagiging basehan lang natin. Kumbaga, ay nakakatulong din para mas malinawan kung ano yung mga possibilities, no? Pagdating sa mga mangyayari in life. Before I end this topic, we have here a quote. The market is like a lake agitated by the wind, where the water is incessantly seeking its level without ever reaching it. So as we contemplate or reflect with this quote, it only says that the dynamic and the never-ending nature of markets in economics, given the fact that we people or we human beings strive for equilibrium o yung harmony, yung balance, there are always instability or uncertainty where we are responding to changing condition while seeking balance but never fully reaching a static equilibrium. Sapagkat tunay na only constant thing in this world is change. Ano po, yun naman talaga yung constant, yung pagbabago. Pero as human being, I know that we are always seeking for balance and harmony despite of circumstances. I hope you learned something with this topic. See you and God bless.